Hey guys, this is SharpShot21 here. Today we are going to be doing a hopefully quick little repair. Here we're in Ghost. We've got to replace the steering angle sensor, also known as the SZL. The new one is part number 61319253770. The reason we're replacing this part is because the steering angle sensor, which is part of this multifunction switch unit, is malfunctioning in mine. That's causing several things to not work, including the ABS, the traction control, the self-canceling blinkers, you know, the stuff that I need to pass inspection. So, we're going to go through that real quick. It is a somewhat in-depth process, and I've already started some of it. First step that you will need to do is you'll need to go in and disconnect the negative terminal from the battery, and you want to do that about 15 to 20 minutes before you start to mess with any of this stuff, because we are dealing with the airbag here. That is one of the things that we will have to take out. The SZL is behind the steering wheel, behind the airbag. Airbag systems are designed to remain active for at least 15 minutes after the car is turned off, so they have a fairly large reserve of power. So you just want to make sure that's all drained down. You don't want the airbag to go off in your face or shoulder or shoot a screwdriver into your nose, something along those lines. In addition to pulling that off, we do have to take the knee bolster out, the tachometer off, and the steering column surround off. It's not hard, you just got to know where to look and what to do. So, let me reposition you guys and we will get right into it. See you in a sec. Okay, so here we are. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this knee bolster out. There's 3 screws. There's one over here down at the bottom. There's one right below the steering column right at the bottom. And one right over here, right down at the bottom. And I believe those are T20s. Just want to take them out. I'm just going to stick them in that cup holder right there. I'm doing this outside just because the garage is full. And I'm doing it with the door closed because it's raining out. I'm doing it like that because I can't wait to do it later. So I've got the appointment for the replacement tomorrow. Now, the panel's loose, and there's a little trim clip up here and a little trim clip on the other side. You just want to gently get in and pull. So here's what your knee bolster looks like. You got 1, 2, 3. Whoop. Those are the screws at the bottom. And then you've got 4 little trim clips. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll set that off to the side. I'll move the steering wheel all the way down. And then these are T30s. And they're down in there a little ways. There's only 2, 1 on each side, and you do have to get the steering column as far down as it'll go. To get these off. Alright, now, I like to do this with a torque driver. On the very bottom of the steering wheel, right below, right about here, there's a hole. I'm going to stick, again, I like this Torx driver for it. I'm going to stick this Torx up the hole. Feel around, because there's a spring, and you push the spring, and the airbag pops out. I'll show you in a second once I disconnect everything. You'll need a pick for this next part. Carefully pull the airbag out. Now, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but down at the bottom, there's one little clip. It's a spade connector, but it has a lock on it. You'll need to pick the lock up to pull the spade connector off. That's what this is for. On the top, there's another connector. That you just depress the tab and it pops out. So, this spade connector is the ground. It has the lock on it. It clips in right here. This gray and yellow one clips into the big hole on the left. Now that that's done, we'll set that off to the side as well. And there's one more connector that's just held in there with a friction fit. Doesn't clip in or anything, but you do need to undo it. Now, let me take you down here for a second. Alright, let's stick this screwdriver through the hole in the bottom of the steering wheel. See where it comes up? Now see this metal wire here? That's a spring clip that holds the airbag in. So you push up on it, the spring clip moves out of the way, the airbag falls out. You let go, it goes back into place. Easy enough, you just got to know how to do it. Alright, the next is we've got a, probably need the breaker bar for this, 16mm bolt in the middle of the steering wheel. This bolt, you need to hold the steering wheel, not let it go anywhere, and twist the bolt free. It's not held on there very tight, but you do need to break the bolt free and get that loose. Take the bolt all the way out. And before you take the steering wheel off, I'll take you out of here again. If you look very closely, right at the bottom of the frame at the 6 o'clock position, there's a little scratch on the steering column and a scratch on the steering wheel. Those two need to line up when you put this back together. Be very careful and remember how they went. The steering wheel will now just pop off. So we'll set that down in the wheel well here. And now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of things. Where we're at right now, we have to pop, we've got the tack free. We have to pop the trim out from under here. You can use a trim tool or a screwdriver. Just go gently. Don't force any of this stuff, it will come on its own. Now down back in here, so down and back, there's another Torx. And it's a 30 again. Where'd my Torx 30 go? There it is. There's one of those on either side. Shouldn't need to grunt on them. They should just take a slight bit of pressure to come off. It looks like it stopped raining for a second, so I'm going to open the door. So it's hot in here. These little black screws. On the rear of the lower steering cowl on. Try to keep the screws separate. Now, you can either trim tool this off, which works somewhat, or you can take a little hook pick like this one, carefully reach in, and gently use it to lift off the little locking tab here and here. That's all you need to do with it. And then that's free. Try to put your tack back on approximately where it goes. And then there's two little screws, one on either side. I think they might be 15s. No, they're 20s. And they thread into plastic, so they might be a little stiff. But once you break them free, they will come out. Now, if you're planning on reusing this steering wheel sensor and multifunction switch, because the switch isn't broken, but you're doing something else, right now, take a piece of tape and connect the clock spring housing to the main body. That way it can't twist. If it twists, you can break the clock spring. The clock spring is both a spring and a bundle of wires. It's the bundle of wires that takes the inputs from here and actually gets them into the steering column. Right, now that those two are done, oh yes, you have to, if you have the tilt adjust steering wheel, you do have to drop the tilt adjust lever to get this out. Now we're almost there. Around the back, on the bottom, there's two more cables that need to get unplugged. There's nothing on the top. So, probably a small screwdriver. Small screwdriver for the bottom one. It has a locking tab. The top one has a 90-degree cam. So you need to press the lockout on the cam, which is right here, and then this cam will move out of the way. Once that's all done, you're going to need your 30 Torx one last time. Because right behind the blinker stock is a band clamp. You want to get the band clamp loose, and then either with your flathead or your pick, on either side about here and here, there are two locking tabs. Two is sometimes helpful. From there, the whole unit comes off. So that's the one with the cam, that's the one with the locking tab. This is your steering angle sensor and multifunction switch. Now, I should preface what I said in the beginning. For my car, with the options it has, auto headlights, auto windshield wipers, dynamic stability control. That was the part number I gave you. I got that part number from the dealer and ordered it myself. If you need to replace yours, call your dealer, give them your VIN, and they will get you the part number for the correct multifunction switch. See, mine still has the auto wipers, my rears, my fronts, parking lights, auto headlights, my display control. It also has this little lock key. Don't take it out, because that keeps this whole thing from spinning until you're ready for it. Installation is the reverse removal, so I'll see you guys when everything's back together. Alright, so the new steering angle sensor's in. Hopefully it gets fixed, or hopefully that fixes the problem. I'm going to be taking it over to the dealership tomorrow, so I'll bring you guys along with that. Some things to note when you put a new one of these in, because it's not going to be able to talk to the car properly. Your turn signals won't self-cancel. Mine weren't doing that to start with. Your wipers may not turn off. You might need to pull the fuse. And your steering buttons might not work. So, cruise control settings, radio controls, all that sort of stuff. Those might not behave themselves either until the unit gets programmed. Things that will work: the airbag, the horn, and again, the turn signals. Maybe not completely. If you have flappy paddles on the steering wheel, those may not work. Shouldn't be too big a deal, but just as a heads up. If you had to take it out because you had to do some steering column work or something, should be just fine. Shouldn't need to go to the dealership. Sorry, we got a fly in here. Well, hope you all found that helpful. Hope you found that informative. If you did, or if you've got questions, comments, concerns, help, I'm stuck, feel free to leave those in the comments down below or message me directly. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Sharps out.
Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It really helps me out, and it lets you know when I put something new up. New videos will be going up on Tuesdays or Thursdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. And if I do decide to do live streams, I will try to give 24 hours notice. So hit the subscribe button on the channel, and you'll be notified when I post that stuff too. Hope to see you next time. Sharps out.